Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Freeze with our weekly live stream, and I had to push it to the right by one day because my son had his first middle school basketball game yesterday, and thankfully they won. Did a really good job out there, and so if you guys follow my channel, then you saw my little community message come out, or you also saw my Discord post. And real quick, for anybody in the chat, can I get a sound check from you guys real quick? Because I kind of had to put some stuff together real quick. So, yeah. But anyway, I am going to take a look at a couple of things today. I'm going to take a look at, obviously, we got the endurance event this week. And that is going to feature two new bots, Topspin and Terrormander. And so I already did a video about that. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I'll do a little bit of gameplay. We're going to talk a little bit about Dinogate and the impact that's going to have on the game. And we also are going to talk about these character shards and some changes that I think will happen to the meta as the result of these character shards, and how I'm proceeding, how I think players should proceed with the character shards. But before we do any of that, let's go ahead and open this week's newsletter. And it is the final week of this season. It's week 8, the week of the endurance event. And let's see. Yeah, man. So that's the name of the event, the grand final. I don't know if it was supposed to be like grand finale and they just didn't put the E up there, but that's what they got, grand final. And so, yeah. So it's an endurance event. As always, the overall point total is 3.5 million points. And that's if you want to get the 5-star bot. You can get 1.5 mil to get the 4-star bot as an alliance. And yeah, man, should be a really good event. When I look at the charts, plenty of 5-star shards. I think it's up to 900 of them. There's going to be character shards as well, which is going to become important. So maybe you don't get the bot this time, but you get him later on when he comes to the 5-star batch. Then that's when you can use them for the new rank system, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I mean, we've already talked about it on live stream, but at the same time, like I said, we're going to have a whole segment just talking about how to proceed with the character shards. There's going to be combiner spark in this one. Not any combat spark that I saw this time, so I know people were a little bit disappointed about that, but you got quite a few G metal power cores. Pretty good power price chart. And if you go past that 1.5 million, then it starts to get into those optional tiers where you can get some total spark crystals and so on and so forth. So even if you don't go all the way to the 3.5, plenty of room to get some additional goodies. Typical battle zones. And of course, as we were just talking about, the name that they gave for the bundles that dropped last week over the weekend. So Dinogate, there's been a bunch of, if you guys follow Transformers Earth Wars Discord, there's been a lot of controversy this week. And so that controversy was over a series of bundles that came out. So I'll tell you my story a little bit to kind of explain how it worked. So for me, and it's actually, they call it Dinogate. The first one that I actually saw was the Abominus character crystals. And so for me, being on the con side, I was really interested in it because interested in the Abominus crystals because I was pursuing Blot, and you guys know how I feel about Cutthroat, and so Cutthroat, I wanted to go get additional shards and get additional chances just to get the bots that I wanted to get, so I can get their character shards and their class shards. And I was looking at it. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning for me here on the American East Coast. And the bundle came up for $10, and the contents were $100 bundle. So I said, well, clearly this is a mistake, but I don't know what Space Ape is going to do to change this. So I said, well, I'm going to take $40. I'm going to buy these bundles. And so what happened is it's actually kind of funny, because what happened was Space Ape came out over the course of a few days, and they say, hey, we're going to take some of your prizes back. We're not sure what that's going to look like, but yeah, so they took some prizes back. And so you get a couple of options here. If you don't like the way that they split this stuff up, you can get a full refund. However, they say it's going to remove any content that you gained from the bundle. So they're talking about everything you get. So if you got a 4-star because you went in there and bought those bundles, it's gone. If you get 5-star shards, power cores, anything that you earned through those bundles, they're taking away. The other option that you get is that they'll give you credits, and it's kind of confusing, some of the wording, how it works. So I would suggest, I guess they're doing trouble tickets for that, to just kind of see exactly what it is that you're getting from Space Ape. But essentially what they're saying is each crystal is worth about 25 cents each, and so they'll give you a credit for that amount. You can use it on another Black Friday bundle. All right, so I want to go to my game screen real quick, and it's actually just mirroring my phone, so it's going to show my crystals. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I lost, because so first off, I decided to just go ahead and take the deal, and I'll show you why in a second. So right as I was logging in for the live stream, this is what I saw on my screen. So I had got a whole bunch of Abominous crystals, 1,600 in total. And that night, I sat there and I opened up all 1,600 all 1,600 crystals. I actually fell asleep trying to crack crystals. I woke back up, cracked all my crystals, because I kind of had a hunch that Space Ape was gonna take away the character shards and the class shards. But I figured it was a good chance they'd let me keep everything else, just based off of how I've seen them do before. But this is the block shards I lost. I lost 21,360 block shards. I lost over 15,000 cutthroat shards. 700 center twin shards. Nobody really cared about that. I actually felt like I got more center twin shards than anything else, but no worries. I lost 71,500 air class shards. So these are all things that came from the bundles. So you can just to give you some perspective on what it looked like. Those are some of the things that Space Ape says, hey, we're taking it away because that was a mistake with the bundle. So that's the two choices you get. You can either deal with that, or you can get a full refund for the total cost, and then you just lose anything that you gain from those crystals. So think it out. I think it's beneficial if you bought those bundles to just go ahead and keep your loot, because what I also got from this, actually, I'm gonna flip to that real quick. And I was in such a rush that I never went and made a video for it, because usually when I get 5 stars, I made a video. So I'm gonna show you what I did get from the event. And let's see, go to game screen. So the first pull I went in there and got, I was already close to a 5-star. I pulled a 5-star Scrapnel, who I need to try to level up and get him through a couple of levels this weekend. So I got him. But then, lo and behold, I went out and I got, let me find my cursor. And I went out and got this dude. I got blocked out of the second 5-star crystal. So I was so relieved when Space Ape said, hey, we're going to let you keep your 5-star shards. And I mean, your 5-star shards and your 5-star bots. And I just wiped my brow. I just sighed in relief, because as I'm looking in the chat and I say, Lord Avic said, yeah, war team bot. I'm looking for Block, and I was going to pursue Block, but when I said I can pursue him essentially for free, I mean, well, not for free, I spent $40 on the bundles, but I was very, very satisfied with the outcome of that, to the point that I had some encouraging words to say about it just through different avenues that different group chats and talking to other content creators and play testers, to the point that Space Ape actually reached out to me earlier today, both Dale and Daisy, just to thank me for supporting them in the whole Dinogate thing and the way they handled it. I think they've handled it really well overall. I did say to them that I thought they put out too much information too early to not have a definitive answer on how you wanted to proceed with that particular topic. But the end result was really, really good in my opinion. And so for me to get 2 5-star bots out of just spending $40 in a bundle, I'm very, very pleased with that. So that's how Dinogate went. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. What do you think about Dinogate? Did you buy any bundles? And what were your results? How did it turn out if you bought any of those bundles? All right, so we'll go back to the newsletter, and obviously we have Topspin and Terrormander coming to the game this week. We already talked about that a little bit, and it's actually kind of a funny story because last week Space Ape ran essentially 3 newsletters. They ran one newsletter. It was the regular newsletter, which was actually relatively short, and then they ran another newsletter that was just Black Friday stuff. And I think that was actually the first one because I had some people message me in Discord and they was like, hey man, what's up with the newsletter? It's only got Black Friday stuff. And then I said, no, that's a separate thing. And the newsletter came out shortly thereafter. And then there was a third email they sent out to their players. And that one was the playtesters' reviews on the bots. And it was just so happened that I woke up that morning and I just said, well, you know what? I'm up early. My family's still asleep. I said, I'm going to go ahead and make my Terrormander video. And so I made that video and I typed out my review. Well, I typed out my review first because playtesters always get a chance to put their comments about Endurance Bot in there. And I typed it out and I used that as my script for the video. And as soon as I got done with that, like the exact second, I was just hitting save on the thumbnail and Dale asked for playtester reviews. So I wound up finishing my thumbnail, putting my review into Space Ape, and then I also was able to stick my link for the video in there. And it's actually become a really, really popular video. It's one of them right now for how long it's been on, because I think I put that up there Saturday morning. That's the #1 video that I've had for the amount of time that it's been up there. So thank you guys for your support and watching that video. But if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead, go to my channel and check it out, and you can see everything I think about Terrormander. But I am taking requests today. If it's power cores you want to see, if it's anything you want to see with Terrormander while I'm on a live stream today, I'll go ahead and work that out. Sunstreaker Waza had a really good video talking about Terrormander as well. His final thoughts about it. So if you hadn't seen his video, check it out. Cyberpass Season 10 is going to be coming next week. And, pretty standard stuff. I did see that the squad skips were back. So that'll be pretty cool. I'll probably hold on to those until the end of the next endurance event. But yeah. Or the end of the next saga for the endurance event, so I can skip past some bots when I'm doing my wars. Alright, you still got your content creators up there. Arrow DJ Hart, who actually dropped a video today. Engineer Horse, Grind Time Soldier, and Sunstreaker Waza also dropped videos. Community Corner. So you got some nice artwork as always. And then this is the end of the saga. And the only thing we really got left is a couple of bug fixes. So Metroplex and Triptychon will actually be, they're reworking that so the Titan Assault will be the same size. The Metroplex and Triptychon one is longer. That was the first one they came out with. So they had 5 nodes per section, and now it's going to wind up being 3. And I want to take a look. So it might be like that already. And the reason why I say that is because earlier today, Titan Assault reset. And it's reset early. Okay, it didn't do it. Yeah, they didn't do it yet. But I think that might have been what caused the reset. Let's see. Trip Up and Roller Force are working properly. The speed up wasn't working. I did test that out for a little bit earlier. Slugfest and Zara, the targeting issue for the animations, that's been resolved. And then Triple Change of Class Shards, they just had something visually that was going on with that. They were showing as special class shards, so that got changed as well. And that is the newsletter. All right, so let's take a look and see what we got going on in the chat. So the Terror of Titano was the first one into the chat. Thanks for joining. And if you hadn't seen Terror of Titano's YouTube channel, a lot of really good content up there, really great editing up there. So take a look. The link to it is on my bio page. Let's see, we got Lord Avix in there as always. Thanks for joining. And he says, oh, well, I see I'm not first today yet, because Lord Avix is usually first to the live stream every week. So, but welcome. Let's see who else we got. We got Mike Robertson in there, and he asked a question, did you see the new trailer? So yeah, we got the new Transformers: The Beast Wars movie that is coming. And yeah, I saw the trailer. Actually, the first time that I saw the trailer today was when Sunstreaker Waza had his stream up there. I kept seeing people post it, but I was just a little bit busy with other stuff. But yeah, man, it looks really good, and I think most fans are impressed with the trailer. And hopefully it's a good movie, man. I think it's gonna be pretty good. And let's see. The Terror of Titano says Dinogate is such a cool name. And yeah, man. So that's what we got so far. And it's always different, right? Whenever you change your live stream days for any reason, then then a lot of times that throws people off. I tried to notify everybody as much as I could ahead of time, but the family stuff first. So I said I had to go see my son's game, and I love basketball, man, and I mean, especially youth basketball. So I was really excited for him. He his first year on his middle school team. So yeah. But yeah, man. So let's see what else we got. Let's take a look at the new bots again. So I know a lot of you guys probably already saw my video, but there's a couple of things that I did to kind of really tick people off the other day. And so the first thing that I realized is that when I first started, I'm actually on the wrong game screen. I need to go to the test server. But when I first started my video about this bot the other day, I said, hey man, I'm gonna show the Autobots some love. I never show Autobots on my stream, and I said I do have Autobot fans. So I started off the video by showing off the new bot. I started off by showing Topspin, and what ended up happening is, and it's a new feature on the game that you guys probably can see. I'll talk about it in a minute. But I actually went into the Autobots, and I went into the showcase, and I showed off Topspin. And I said, yeah, this is what he looks like. I got him, I transformed him. All the stuff you usually do when you get a new bot. And then, these are some nice looking bots, right? Then I went back in, and I showed the DPS and everything on Topspin. Showed the ability on Topspin. Like I said, the ability to get the dark beam. And yeah, so a couple different things that it's gonna do. It's gonna release a dark cloud. Then that dark cloud is gonna pair with Skylinks' Flame Strike for us on the con side. Then it'll be Blitzwing's Flame Strike. But it's another one of those abilities that runs for 16 seconds. And it's going to lower enemy damage by 50%. And, I got them maxed out level 67 here. So those are the values when you're at level 67. But Yeah, and that bullet does almost 10k of damage. It's like 9,662 damage when you're maxed out with a level 10 ability, with the promise that an ability 11 is coming, right? So what everybody got mad at me about is I never went in and did a showcase for Terrormander. So Terrormander is actually a really really good looking bot as well. You can see him. I like the dual guns that he's got up there. And then when you transform him, he turns into a manta ray. And honestly, really cool bots. I'm not pursuing. So for me personally, I'm going for the 4-star just because I want the combiner piece for God Neptune. Once we get the other combiner pieces. But yeah, so let me know in the chat how far are you trying to go this weekend in regards to the Terrormander and Topspin event. Let me know in the chat and let me know your reasons. All right, so we'll do a little bit of gameplay with them. Like I said, my caveat here, or my disclaimer, I should say, is going to be that I'm on the test server, so obviously that's where I get the test account bot. So I got a lot of crazy stuff up here. And I see the Alpha Trion 1 has just joined the chat. Thanks for joining, buddy. All right. All right. So, and here's the key thing is I'm going to look at Terrormander real quick. I'm going to drop him on the pad. And one of the things I really like right now, I'm in normal mode, and you can actually see the range. I actually think the range was a little bit larger than that at first, but you can use him to in normal mode. So this is about where Cybertron mode is, and it can take out most things. It can't take out anything. Like right here, I just had that auto cannon, and let's check out the stats on that auto cannon, because it didn't take it out, and I was like, huh, well, that's not as good. Yeah, so there we got HQ18 auto cannon at 9,480 health. So realistically, that should have been able to take it out. Let me see what else I got. So I got Leech Maximo here, and I think it might have been, must have got a healing core. So no, it's not a healing core. Huh, that's interesting. Let me try this again. And while I'm doing that, Alpha Trion 1 says he's going to do his normal 20k. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Like I said, I'll do the 37 just for the combiner piece, but that's kind of it. And that shouldn't take me too much. Oh, okay. So let's see. No, that's so what you're seeing right now, speaking of HQ18 stuff, is you can actually see they added additional little ranges, so you can see the area of effect for the prime cores, and so that's actually pretty cool. I didn't realize they had put that on the test server yet, but pretty cool feature. And I see Sean McKeon's in the chat. Thanks for joining. And he says he works with Blitzwing Skylink. So unless you like the guy that helps, he doesn't do much for me. And honestly, I kind of agree with that. So I'll tell you how that came up. In playtest, one of our testers was saying, hey, can we get a combo? You're talking about we're going to do combos during the HQ18. He said, had you guys considered, and he's this particular tester is a huge Blitzwing fan. He said, well, why don't you consider fire damage from like a Blitzwing or something like that. So since it's a similar ability with the smoke, it's the plasma shroud. And so one day we just came back in, and Space Ape says, you know what? We added it. We added Blitzwing, and we added the Blitzwing ability to this. And it's like, I was like, oh, and the Flame Strike and the Skylinks. And so we tried it, and I was like, okay, it's a cool combo, but it's exclusive to just that one bot. So I thought about maybe we can get other fire users in there, but then I thought about it and I said, hey man, all of those are gonna rely really, really heavily on AoE, all the other fire users. Like say I use like Swindle, he's gonna have pretty large AoE. Same thing with Brawl if you use a G1, and most of your fire users are gonna have a lot of AoE. That's probably gonna put it in that overpowered range, considering the new bot Terrormander and Topspin already have a little bit of AoE damage that comes with the use of the regular ability. And so that's what we came up with. Well, that's what Space Ape came up with, I should say, to go in there and just make this particular bot just have work combo with Blitzwing and Skylinks. So if you hadn't already, let me know in the chat what you think of the new bot based off of what you've seen so far. I know you probably saw my video, probably saw a couple other content creators, but I'm not sold on it completely. I do think that maybe at some point it becomes a meta bot, because it's going to have the ability 11, and it's going to have the G1 core, which is probably going to boost up the damage a little bit. I don't know if I like having a bot that's going to be dependent on, at least not a G1 core. I don't want to depend on the G1 core to make him, put him in one-shot territory. But I know one-shot territory is something that Space Ape is going away from. So that's pretty much all I want to say about that bot. All right, so I also, and let me actually pull up some of my bots. So let me tell you about this new feature that they got in the game real quick, because I told you that I would. So you notice that when you're sorting through your bots, usually we just use this little button right here to go through power, star rate, and so on and so forth. Well, now you got a class button on the side, and you can still sort. Like, so right now I'm going through my special class bots, and I can go through them by star rating. But say I want to go look at healers, because healers are usually a little bit further down, and it just pulls them right there to the top. So it's really, really convenient, especially like say you're going through elimination mode or something, and you're trying to pick a particular class of bot or something like that. You can just go through there, and you can also just make it so you can get to your 5 stars of any particular class, 4 stars, so on and so forth. So it's a really neat feature. I like it, and I'm glad that they're doing it. So this is on the test server. They were asking for our feedback right now. We all told them we really, really like it, and so that's where we're at. So yeah, looks really, really good and really, really helpful. All right, so the next topic I want to talk about is going to be the rank shards, or the character shards and the class shards, and the new rank system. So there's a couple of things that I think about when I look at it, and that's kind of an example of what it looks like. I showed it on the last stream, but I want to talk about it in a little bit more detail, because there's a couple of effects that I think are going to happen on it. Well, I think it's an effect that's going to have on the game, and the first thing that I think is that I think that there's going to be more of a effort. Like for me personally, I don't buy bundles, like character bundles or anything like that. So I think that's going to become more of a regular thing for players who are willing to spend money on the game. They're going to go in there and get their character bundles so that they can try to chase specific bots to get them up to the next rank. That's why the Dinogate, that's why those bots were so popular. Now, along with that, I will say, now here's the thing. The reason why Dinogate happened in the first place is because Space Ape was saying to themselves, well, this is going to be a brand new feature. We don't want people to just have their new feature maxed out right away. And so what they did, that's how, like, when I was showing you guys that they took away some of my shards and everything, that's why they took them away, is because, you know, I had Blot and Cutthroat set up for not only the first two ranks that they're going to introduce with HQ18, I had them set up for quite a while. I probably could have maxed the whole thing out or close to it with the shards I have. But I still did pretty good with Cutthroat. I still got 4,020 of his character shards. So I'm gonna use those to get him up to the next level. Right now it's showing it at that really high number. They got it just under 1 million. But that's gonna be like closer to the 5,000 range as I understand it. So yeah, so hopefully I can give him that boost I really wanted to give him, DPS wise. So yeah, you're gonna wind up wanting to go buy more bundles. You're also going to, now here's the kicker. I think you're gonna start liking certain events that we didn't used to like anymore. And so to give you some examples, I think that, how many of you guys, and you can tell me in the chat, how many of you guys actually like chance events? Chance events, I mean, hey, you go get certain shards from you got a chance at the bot. You're not guaranteed to get the bot that the event is featuring. I think that changes. I think now if they go make a chance event, I think they're going to become more popular because chance events usually come with, you know, character shards, and a lot of times you get a lot of duplicates doing chance events. And so I think that becomes important because I'll give you a good example. So I got Acid Storm from his chance event. I've already got enough to, when he goes to the next rank, I've already got enough from it. I already got enough. I already got over 5,000 of his chance, his character crystals. And I got plenty of the air class crystals. Now I want to show you something real quick. I'm going to switch over to the test server again. And when I do, I'm doing that because I want you to see just how powerful Acid Storm is. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you probably already know what his true potential is. So I always give it like what I like to call the fracas test. You guys that have been around for a while, you already know I'm going to try to go put that 32% from fracas on him. Just because fracas is more universal. And what you'll see is that Acid Storm has a lot of DPS. Like right there alone, he's at 1034.7. Now let's go take him up a couple of levels. So we don't, when HQ18 comes, we're gonna have 2 additional levels. So since I'm on the playtest server again, let's go ahead and go into my inventory, and we will level him up to 67. And while I'm doing that, I want to welcome Vector Prime for joining. Thanks for joining, buddy. And he had a comment that says, what I expected for HQ18 was +1 space on the ship, 1 more level for all defenses, and level 70 for 4 and 5-star bots. I was a little disappointed of what this new HQ would actually be. So, but yeah, we can talk about that because, so here's what I think. I think it's going to be challenging, but I think there's going to be a lot of countermeasures in place to make it to where it's still doable. I mean, the Prime Core shards defensively for me was really huge, just because, I mean, they're really, really powerful. And, you know, it's just kind of like a run-of-the-mill, just damage increase type stuff, health increase type stuff. So, in theory, it might come off to you like a little bit boring, but I think it becomes pretty challenging when we actually when you actually run it in a real game. So I think it'll be cool. All right, so let's go back to Acid Storm. And so yeah, you know, I got him with a maxed out 5-star Fracas. I got him at just under 11. So this is the 4-star, guys. Now imagine you go add another 10% up there. Well, at a minimum, on my live account, I had enough for the next rank. I had enough for the corporal rank, which is a +5 DPS, a +5 health. That makes him a very, very, very strong bot with the correct combat choices. So, yeah, man. Like, I think that's going to be the chance. And like I said, this is a bot that I got from a chance crystal event. And there's lots of duplicates. Even if they're 2- and 3-star duplicates, this is how you end up with that large number of crystals. I also think that there's going to be like those combiner events. Like we had an individual event this past weekend, and it was like the combiner event. Those ones are going to be important also, just because you're going to, like I said, you're going to get a lot of duplicates. Now, it depends on what bot or what combiner group you're talking about, because I feel like I said earlier, the Abominus crystals that they put out here for Black Friday, they were much better than the Dinobot crystals, because most Autobots don't use those particular bots in battle. So you get all those shards, and this is like, all right, well, the class shards, you know, you got to get rid of, because you can use those on any bot in the class. But, you know, I was talking to some other playtesters about it, and they say, nah, you know, the only one I might use out of that batch was Swoop. For me, I had Blot and Cutthroat like I showed you guys earlier, so that kind of made a little bit of a difference. Let's see. Now, here's some key bots that I might look, because I think it's going to be some 4-stars that are going to turn into pretty viable candidates for HQ18 with the rank system. When you rank them up, they're going to be Prime League hard mode usable, Cybertron usable. So I'm going to go through a couple real quick. And so first one, and you guys know I always love this dude, but Sentius Malice, I already got him maxed out. I still use him in some the power level, some of my healers and stuff like that. You can see some of the damage that he does, and right now I got Zori on him. But at some point I'm going to have a 5-star Baru, and that 5-star Baru has like a 150% damage increase, I believe, at the maxed out level. And so I go add that 150%. I go add like another 5 to 10% on top of that because of the character shards at some point. And we might have a monster on our hands again. Right now I've only got 1,500 of his rank shards, but he could come back into the conversation with the right setups and, you know, the rank increase, because the rank increase is supposed to up the ability damage as well. Some other ones I think are going to become popular. Now, here's the thing. Khan's got an advantage on this side too, because going back to what I was saying about the combiner events, Dead End is going to be a combiner bot, but Cup is not on the Autobot side. So if we have a combiner event and you start just racking it up, the Dead End shards, when we try to go do the whole power leveling, the Dead End power leveling thing, we're going to have an advantage, Cons. So that's one of those things that I might want to consider talking to Space Ape about now that character shards are having such a huge role. I hadn't decided how I want to word that yet, but I do think that's a little bit of disadvantage for the Autobots, because Cup is not going to be that combiner piece. So that'll be a 4-star that you would definitely want to add to the list. And I'm going to flip back to my test account real quick so I can look at some of the other bots that I think are going to be good as 4 stars with that rank boost. And some of them are already good as 4 stars. But I think that, let's see. Let me look through what I got. Let me go to the special class and let me take a look at, and I don't know how far I have him leveled up. But yeah, I think Motor Master is good no matter what. I actually think I have him a little higher on the live server, but I think you can start to get his health up a little bit higher, a 10% increase with him after you get to about level 62-ish. We'll probably put him close to about maybe 28k-ish in health, I would imagine. I have to go back and do the math on it, but I think he'd be really good. I think that like a bot like, let me go to my gunners. I think the Spinister, who's already really good, you go give him a 10% increase on this. You go give him a good combat bot. And you give him a damage increase on his special ability. And I think that you have a complete monster on your case in every capacity of it. Now, he doesn't do as much damage just on the ground. I mean, I think for what he does with his special ability, 792.2 is probably sufficient. And then you still got a little bit, this is at level 65, so he'll get a little bit more DPS for the last 2 levels. But yeah, so just some things to think about when you, in regards to the character shards. And I see a lot of activity in the chat, so let me go check on the chat. Let's see. Terror of Titano says he'll make a video tonight. So choose a bot for him to do a video on. Trying to decide. I would actually like. It's not one I can think of. I want to see one on right now. You know what? Do one on Kickback. Do Insecticons. They don't always get a lot of love, and I think that would be cool. I'd watch that. And the other question he asked, who do I have in my outpost? So I tell you what, so I got different layouts on my live server as opposed to my test server. Let's talk about my live server right now so you can see what I use in real life. So first off, I'm going to check on this wall. Let me see if I'm defending. And I'm not defending, so I'm disappointed about that. But let's look at my outpost bots real quick. So I just changed it up earlier in the week. So I actually got a 4-star Scourge up here just because I added his ability 11 to it, and I got his G1 core. So I just want to stun. I probably need to. I took my combat bot off of him, and I did not put it back. So let's see. I'm gonna put my 4-star Singe on him that I'm not using on my war team right now. I'm very disappointed about that because I needed to make some room for guys to shoot over walls. Just when I added Soundwave back to my war team. I'll actually take a war attempt here in a minute. So I got him in the outpost. At the top here, I got Fellbat. Now here's the thing, Fellbat, and I just changed him this week too. Now I always had Fellbat on my war team, defense, I should say. But I put him up here with Growl, and I think a lot of people are catching on to this tactic. But if Fellbat is gonna stun you, then you go back in, you add Growl to it, and let Growl just do his thing, add a lot of damage. So I put my 4-star on Fellbat. Alright. So then we go look at, so that's my top outpost. Try to slow him down a little bit because, you know, essentially I run into more time traps and everything. And like a lot of times I rotate in and out as commander on my alliance. So I got to have a good base. I like stun people. So if somebody decides, hey, I don't want to go deal with Scourge on the other side, then you got to deal with Astro Train on this side. And he's going to track you down. He's going to hunt you down like a dog. And that's why I like And I like that he has, when you look at his tooltip, and I never used Astro Train's G1 core before until the other day. I actually added Growl to him too, the 3-star version, and then I added his G1 core to him so that I can increase his special ability damage. And the reason why I did that is I just want to do as much damage as I can while they're stunned. So you can bombard nearby targets 8 times with that defensive perimeter. It just so happens to be 8 bots that could potentially walk onto the battlefield. If you know what's in there, if you scouted the base, and you're not gonna send all of your bots out, I would just send the warrior out because they're gonna have stun immunity from the tech tree. But I try to get every little advantage I can. So, and I like the fact that Astro Train will follow you to stun you. And then down here in the middle, right now I got Impactor. Obviously that's one of my better bots. You can see the stats I have for him. Vertebrae, Amalgamous Prime, one of the better bots in the game, in my opinion. If you ever saw my top bot video, you know how I feel about him. Top bots in the game, he was in my top 10. But what I want to work into my outpost, and I just need to get him stronger first, is I want to work this dude into I want to work Null into my outpost so bad. But I just want to build him up a little bit. Like right now, he's going to be one of my weekend projects that I'm going to try to get over 60. And I got 4-star Baru in there. But like I just said earlier, at some point, I'm going to have that 5-star Baru. And at some point, I'm going to max that 5-star Baru out. And at some point, he's going to have 150% DPS increase. In addition to that G1 core that's going to increase that movement and attack speed of the minions by 26%. He's going to just tear somebody completely apart, piece by piece, once I get him right. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I'll probably put him in Impactor's spot. And Doja Cat has joined us in the stream. Thanks for joining, buddy. Oh, Terror of Titano said he already did one on Kickback. I need to go find that one then. I missed that video on Kickback. Doja Cat says that he finished his 4-star collection this weekend. Congratulations. And Doja Cat actually says the same thing I did. He says, not really impressed with Terrormander yet. I have to agree. I mean, it's not a bad bot. It's just not. When I start looking at bots that I'm getting right before a major event like that, I want them to have an instant impact. And I think this impact is going to be limited to what he does. To what he does with his G1. Now, if his ability 11 comes out and it's fire, then yeah, now that's cool. I don't mind an ability 11. First off, I can get an ability 11 for free by using the Cyber Pass. Which, speaking of which, if you guys didn't see, because Space Ape didn't notify anybody, but Knockout ability 11 is out right now. So I don't have any skips left from my Cyber Pass. I actually used my last one to get Scourge's ability 11 so I could defend better. So I'm going to use the next Cyber Pass to give Knockout his ability 11. They got to adjust the values a little bit though. So Daisy got on earlier today from Space 8 and says that the team's working on it and they'll get the values correct. But they were saying something to the effect that it's supposed to be, when you go to the ability 11, it's supposed to add, it's going to be like 5 seconds that it's going to have more damage in that area. It's going to deal 6 times damage to walls. And so that stat value that it says right there, it'll be 6 times whatever your base damage for your ability is going to be. So yeah. So look for that. I'm not going to show it. Well, first off, I don't have it. I got it on the test account, but the values aren't right now, so it's not worth talking about. But that's what the ability 11 is going to do. So tell me what you think about that. What do you think about what you know about the ability 11 so far for Knockout and Skids? Let me know in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, Doja Cat was kind of agrees with what I was saying. And Nemesis Prime with Soundwave as a backup. favorite combo at the moment. Yeah, no, that's really good. And that's, like I said, I use Nemesis Prime and Soundwave on my war team right now. But also, I mean, I got Soundwave's G1 core, and I believe I got it maxed out, so I can use him defensively. And it's a question that says, which bots can equip the Megatronus core? Any of them. Prime cores can go on whoever. So, but yeah. So let's see. I think I'm gonna take a war hit or two real quick, and then I'll probably end the stream. So let's see. Defense. So we got TF Zeta. So let me scout the base real quick. Alright, so I'm looking at the space in here because the first thing I'm looking at the outpost bots. I'm trying to see. I think those outposts are going to be a little too far apart for me to do like a flame war sack. But I think I could pull off a delayed sack. Now this is Cyber League right now. I'm visiting DJD right now. And one thing I was so when I look at these things and I look at war effects, I look for the outpost. And I actually like to look and see which outpost bots up here. Now my teammates got a good start, so I can actually go watch the replays. But I can see they're going for some stun there with Star Saber and Elita 1. They got Gnaw down there, and they got another stunner and Chromia. So definitely the goal here is for them to try to stun. In this particular case, I think I might be better off with a Ramjet sack. So let me see what my teammates did, see if I can find, and I'll take a look at Action Wheel. And Sean McKeon says, do I know Trip? He says he's been telling me to use Kolagon. Do you see him as valuable? I'd say, well, I think you mean Trap, the playtester Trap you're talking about? Yeah, I say I know him. He's actually probably my best online friend in the game. And yeah, he's very valuable. The Kolagon. He's one of the best bots in the game right now, to be honest. Like if I had to go make another video about top bots, Kolagon's got to be at like no less than top 5. Ooh, see this, and I'm watching Action Will's replay, which he won this base, so no big deal there. He's my teammate in Defiant Little Horde right now. He's with us in, Horde. However we say that, man, it's Horde and DJD mixed together. And they messed up. They got both of these mines like right next to each other. So that's cool. Definitely gonna RJ sack this. Alright, cool. Yeah, Terror of Titano says that he met Trap. Like, man, Trap's he says he's an intelligent playtester. Yeah, he's just a good dude, man. We actually talk tactics quite regularly. He is helped me set up my YouTube, one of my biggest supporters. We talk tactics all the time. I got on playtest a little bit before he did. But yeah, man, like he's my ace. If I had to call somebody my ace for this game. And we got Gregory Miller in the chat. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining. And then we got Ninja Squirrel 30. And he said, he just subbed. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I said if you're going back to the game, go ahead and keep on playing. But yeah, thanks for the subscription, man. I really appreciate it. And we've been getting a lot of subscribers lately too, man. And I think a lot of it is just, I think a lot of it is just, I'm starting to get shout outs everywhere from content creators and just different folks. And I really appreciate it. I get a lot of help from almost every official content creator. Ooh, nah, man. And I can't. I'm gonna have to look down at my phone because I said I can't. I had a hard time trying to do this from the mouse pad. I don't want to like lose a battle. I'm just gonna jump out of the game screen real quick. All right, so I worn down one section. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down here on the opposite end. And those are flare mines. So not really. I didn't pick up on that the first time. So not even MSMs. Should make this a simple run. To be honest, a lot of sharks there though. So go ahead and drop down some smoke. We see if we can get the fence soil cleared out here. And pop this last outpost. I'll use my minions and ooh. And I got stunned, so I'm gonna go ahead, drop my combiner. I shouldn't have needed them, but I kind of messed up on the beginning there. And we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes early on trying to use my mouse, my Bluetooth mouse, but yeah, I'm used to doing this one hands on. Thanks for the compliment, Doja Cat. Yes, I try to make, really good content. I mean, and the thing is, when I first started out, it was kind of, ooh, man, it was kind of tough. Like, you're breaking into a market that already has established content creators and everything like that. And then those guys kind of started taking me under their wing. And so now I'm starting to see some of the benefits from that. And yeah, man, it's been fun, man. I think I've had help from almost every major content creator in Transformers Earth Wars at this point. The majority of them. Anyway, base down, I took my first 20. So not bad. Not my best work, but I'm cool with it. Ninja Squirrel 30 asks, is there any news on when the 5-star bat botch announcement will be? So, I'm not sure yet. Space Ape hasn't really said anything. We hadn't started testing any bots or anything yet. I will say this. Generally speaking, they usually come sometime in December. Like my very first video, I think the 5-star bots had just come out and some of the Ability 11s had just come out as well. That was like Christmas Eve. So maybe we can stay around there, but I do think that Space Ape is behind a little bit because of HQ18. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm really not sure the actual date. But I will say this. You'll know that it's close when Space Ape gives us a survey to do a community pick for the 5-star bots. Alright, Alright, so I'm watching my teammate Cheeto, who's also a play tester and a really, really good player, like much better player than myself, and try to look at base 2 real quick. I'm really just concerned about MSMs at this point. See if there's any motion sensing mines that'll stop me from using my abilities at this point. Man, this dude only use 6 bots. Dude, Cheeto was really impressive. I'm glad we get to play together this weekend. Alright, so I see 1 mine, 2 mine. I'm going to assume them to be symmetrical. I should be able to take this straight up the middle. That'll be another RJ sack. Eventually, when I get Blot up to speed, that's going to become a just straight up walk team type thing. But until then, RJ sack, Flame War sack all the way. Yeah, Gregory Miller says he's ready to pop a few new 5-star bots. Yeah, and so here's the thing. I was holding on to all my 5-star bots at first. On my 5-star shards, and you know, everybody went through the whole thing of when I was trying to get Nemesis Prime, but yeah, I was trying to get Nemesis Prime, and I finally got him, and I said, okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna hoard, and then Dinogate happened, and I was like, oh man, you know what? I need to try to get whatever 5 stars I can get before the space ape takes them away, and so I ended up with 2. Who I consider really good 5-star bots, so I'm not mad at getting Blot or Scrapnel. I actually reached out to Sunstreak Waza the other day for advice since he's a huge Bumblebee user. So yeah, that's the only reason why I cracked crystals, was because I said, hey man, this is gonna be pretty good. Alright, I'm going to do one more war battle while I'm on stream. And then I'm going to share some news with you. So if you guys are still sticking around, I got a pretty decent announcement to make at the end of the stream. So we'll talk about that and before I call it a night. Alright, so like I said, another one. RJ straight up the middle. I'll come back down so I can pop Star Saber and let them back to back. And so here I like to actually use Nemesis Prime's ability, and since I got Blowpipe on him, he's going to creep up, so I'll just pair him up with Brawl, get some damage going, and I accidentally just brought Impactor onto the battlefield, but he's not in a bad spot, but that's going to force me to drop my combiner earlier than I was going to, so no worries. And this is why I say when you're going into war, you got to have like a backup plan in case something goes wrong. That was a really small accident that could have turned into like a complete disaster if I let it. So it'd be like that sometimes. Professional Husky just joined. Thanks for hanging out. Oops. I just keep hitting random stuff I don't mean to, but it's all good. We'll send some minions up. And I had to, recently I had to add more tanks to my war team because of these sharks. And it's really crazy, man, because I just wanted to use knockout and I had to take them off because the ranged attackers were getting eaten up. also went down to one healer. I was using 2 healers for the longest. And who's coming out of that outpost? Oh, shoot. And that's Laser Optimus. So I think, alright, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to shield Soundwave. And right now nobody's taking stun because I did a good job of using Nemesis Prime. Well, now they're getting stunned, but I used Nemesis Prime's shield to keep him from getting stunned. And I still got Vertebrate down there on Impactor. And so that should take care of that base. I got a question that says, what level is my Titan? He's level 20, 4-star. Ninja Squirrel says, you like that smash mouth straight up the gut football, eh? Marshawn Lynch. Nah, I actually don't. I actually shoot a lot of gaps with Ramjet. Here's the problem, is when I see MSMs, I'm going to try to avoid the MSMs. And so for me, yeah, for me, they just happened a couple of bases that forced me up the middle a little bit. Now that first base, I didn't realize that they had flare mines up there. I thought they had MSMs. I thought everybody was using MSMs. But I try not to go up the middle. It's actually a very, very bad tactic, but there are some situations that call for it. Yeah, Professional Husky says, I say you make Lord Avix a moderator for your stream. Yeah, I mean, he's here for everyone. So, I mean, if he's interested in doing something like that, I wouldn't mind at all. I actually thought about it a couple of times, but I just keep forgetting to ask him. But all right, man, I'm going to go to the Deceptor Lab real quick. So, real quick announcement. And if you guys watch Sunstreaker Waza, which I know most of you do, probably the best content creator in the game. So earlier this week we did some work together. Me, him, Text the Titan. I did not like how my green screen looks right now, so I'm just gonna go back to the game screen. But we got a collaboration video, a series of collaboration videos coming out. It's gonna be from Sunstreaker Waza's channel, but the concept is gonna be unpopular opinions. And so basically each content creator, me, him, Text the Titan, what we did was throw a bunch of ideas into a hat, basically like ideas about things that we know other people won't like, and then we try to talk each other into seeing each other's viewpoints. So it was real fun. Total time we spent on Skype the other day was about 4.5 hours. I was really, really tired. But so yeah, if you guys, I talk to most of you guys when I'm on his live stream. But look for those videos. It's gonna be about 8 to 9 separate topics that we're gonna talk about, and I think I came up with 3 or 4 of them myself. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back on a live stream because he had to edit them. Now, if you're one of his actual members, not subscriber, but one of his paid members, then he is going to have unedited versions, he says, which is going to basically go through everything we talked about. But once he releases the videos, I'll talk about those topics on my stream as well. But yeah, man, so it was really nice to get invited on the show. I was a little nervous at first, but we really had a good time, man. I hope we get to do more videos together. So he's hit the link for him, for his, if you're not familiar with him, is in the bio of my page. And yeah, so look for those to come out, the start coming out this weekend. We had a really, really good time the other night just talking Transformers. But yeah, so all right, man. So that's it for me for this week. I'll probably make another. Well, I'll probably edit the live stream to another video later on. But other than that, guys, enjoy the endurance event this weekend. And I will see you next week. I should still be able to live stream on my regular scheduled time on Wednesday. So I'll see you then, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Freezius out.